Hey everyone, welcome back to the Harmony Inspired Health Podcast, your space for Ayurveda, women's health, and holistic success. Today, we're going to be talking about energy sucks because I've come to realize that so many of my friends and my clients and even myself have really felt sucked and starved of energy lately. And it got me thinking, what are some of the biggest culprits for this? But before we get into it, I want to ask you something. Have you ever felt physically exhausted, but you didn't even do anything that day? Or maybe your brain is running a million miles per hour, yet you struggle to focus on getting anything done. That, my friend, is an energy leak. It's when your life force energy, your prana, is seeping away through stress, overthinking, and misalignment. And today I'm going to help you identify where your energy is leaking, how to reset your nervous system, and give you a simple breathwork hack to reclaim your vitality within minutes. I literally had to do this today. I had scheduled myself this morning to record some podcasts. However, I was feeling completely zapped of energy. And I was like, no, I cannot show up today. I cannot show up. I cannot be my authentic self. I am so drained. I'm going to actually take my advice for once and give myself some time off just to relax, just to breathe, and just to retain more prana, retain more life force, because I really needed it. And so I did that. And I worked with my prana, my breath. And, well, here I am recording a podcast because literally I revitalized my whole body and mind. No word of a lie. I was not going to come and show up today for the podcast, but here I am because I felt really inspired to speak on this. So if you're ready to tap into deeper energy reserves and truly thrive, then let's get into it today. So what are energy leaks and how do they drain you? An energy leak it's like a small hole in a balloon, like a pinprick in a balloon or a ball. Like, you know, those Pilates balls? I always think of those Pilates balls because they can be really, really firm sometimes. And then after a while you're using them, they start to get really squishy and flabby and you're like, But anyway, I digress. At first you may notice this tiny little bit, little bit of air leakage, but then over time, your energy just drains out and it leaves you feeling really depleted. And for a lot of women, anxious or really foggy in the mind. So here's how energy leaks can show up in your daily life. You might be waking up really tired even after a full night's sleep. You feel overstimulated yet unmotivated. Now, this was my energy leak, and I have just been on the back end of running multiple events, which were amazing, and I absolutely loved them and love having all the women connecting and learning, and it was so beautiful. But because I love it, I put so much of my energy into it, and at the end felt very overstimulated. And so today, a few days later, felt very unmotivated to come and record podcasts until I did this hack that I'm going to teach you soon. You may also struggle to make decisions and you may be second guessing yourself all the time. Another way that it shows up in your life is that you say yes to way too much and then feel resentful and burnt out. Now, I have done this multiple times myself and I have definitely learned the hard way. So I want you to be really mindful of that one because that is definitely an energy suck and an energy leak. You may be replying to too many different emails and different messages, inboxing. I know these days we're on so many different social media platforms and the expectation is from the people who send messages that you're going to reply straight away. And if they don't get the reply, they'll be sending it through another channel. And so often you get so overstimulated by the amount of conversations you're having with so many different people. So we really need to put boundaries when we're answering all of those requests, because when someone is messaging you, whether it be your inbox, your Facebook Messenger, Instagram, it's generally for their benefit. And we're constantly giving our energy out, which yes, is nice and beautiful, but it can come at a cost, which is an energy leak. You may also be replaying past conversations in your mind, and this just like this reminiscence of all of these conversations and I should have said this or I should have done that in your mind. It is such an energy suck. And another way is that you absorb other people's emotions and feel drained after socializing. Again, this is me and it coincides with my Vata constitution. Love socializing, talking to people, connecting, but I'm very empathetic and I pick up on people's emotions very easily. And after a lot of talking and a lot of socializing, I can tire very quickly and feel very, very drained. Now, if any of these resonated with you, then your energy is leaking somewhere and your life force isn't being replenished. So if you're like, yes, this sounds like me, I'm waking up tired, I'm feeling overstimulated, unmotivated, I'm struggling to make decisions, I say yes way too much and then feel burnt out. I keep replaying past conversations in my mind and I'm always like absorbing everybody else's emotions, then your energy is leaking and we need to sort that out. Now, I want to talk to you about the 3 biggest energy leaks and how to stop them. So they are all the signs and symptoms that somehow your energy is leaking. But the very first one I want to really narrow down on is overthinking and mental clutter. The mind is like a browser with too many tabs open. Every unfinished task, worry, or decision running in the background drains mental energy. And I can tell you, mental energy exhaustion for me is so much worse than physical exhaustion. I feel like I can physically go all day, but mentally, oh my gosh, that's where it really hits me. Ayurveda calls this a vata imbalance. So if you're constantly worrying, you're up in your head, you're feeling very stressed, anxious, overthinking what people are saying or what you haven't done, then this is a vata imbalance. There's too much air and ether, which is making the mind really scattered and restless. Whereas pitta can get very burnt out and leak their energy when they're over concentrating on too many tasks and having to strive to perfection. And so they're constantly trying to plan and strategize and get ahead and get ahead and get ahead. And they're just leaking their energy in that way. And they can feel extremely burnt out. So how do we want to stop this energy leak? We want to start our day with intentional stillness. And now that's exactly what I did today. I knew that my vata was way out of balance. And so instead of jumping up, getting straight to work and doing what I normally do. So normally I'd get up, I would go exercise, and then I'd have my shower, say goodbye to the kids and get straight to work, scheduling all my podcasts, my interviews, whatever I had on for that day. I was like, no, Harmony, you need to be grounded. Like you are way up in your head today and your headache's only getting worse. I've got tension headaches, lots of vata type of pain going on, and it's all related to tension and overwhelm and just exhaustion. And so I was like, right, we're going to start with some stillness. We're going to do some meditation and journaling. And then we're going to start to invite the prana gently throughout the body with some breathwork techniques. And I 100% did that this morning. And my day has been so much better because of that. Another thing you could do is write a mental dump before going to bed. So get out all of your thoughts that are in your head so that they stop swirling around at night and just dump them on a piece of paper and then you can address them the next day. You know they're there. You don't need to keep thinking about them. You've put them in a list. You've just written them, scribbled them down. Doesn't matter how you do it. Maybe you've left yourself a voice note on your phone, but they're there and they're ready to address the next day. So now you can go get yourself some rest and clear your mind. And then another tactic we want to use is to close the energy loops. So finish tasks that you can finish that are achievable. So the pittas, not all of the tasks, just the main priority tasks. Make decisions. So make a decision before you go to bed, or at least make the decision to write a list the night before or dump it out like we spoke about, and stop procrastinating. So stop using your time just to create these energy loops in the mind of constantly thinking about what I have to do, what I'll have to do tomorrow, what tasks need to be finished. Just go and do it. Stop procrastinating or write it down. Make a plan for the next day. Every unfinished thing can be a small leak of mental energy if you don't account for when you're going to do that. So that specifically applies to the Pitta constitutions. So write down, okay, I'm going to stop overthinking all of the tasks that I have to do this week, and I'm just going to write them down. I'm going to finish the main one today. I'm not going to procrastinate. I'm going to get straight into it, or I'm going to make a very clear decision whether it actually needs to be done now or not. So that was what I did. I was like, I cannot talk and podcast this morning. I have to make a decision of what I'm going to do instead, which was to honor my body and my energy leaks. And then I said to myself, in the afternoon, you can look at your schedule and you can schedule in those podcasts somewhere for next week. Just so happens the energy leaking tactics I did worked, and here I am, but I would have scheduled them for another time. So I stopped procrastinating about, oh, I've got to do it, and then I keep thinking and stressing about it and so on. I just make clear decisions. One of the next biggest energy leaks is carrying energy that is not yours to carry. Have you ever left a conversation feeling really exhausted? Like someone just sucked the life out of you and you're like, oh my God, why do I feel so tired? I might even have a bit of a headache coming on. All I've done is gone out, grabbed a chai latte with a friend or with a colleague or had a conversation with a person, and now I'm feeling completely exhausted. That may be because you're an empath and you just are very naturally sensitive to the energy around you. And if that person has big energy and don't have those appropriate energetic boundaries up, or if that person is going through some tough times, they have a negative energy, then you may be absorbing their energy. You can be constantly absorbing other people's stress, negativity, or unspoken expectations, which is one of the biggest energy leaks. So how can you stop this type of energy leak if this is you? If you are sensitive to other people's energy? Well, like I said, you need to set boundaries. You have to be able to hold space for your friends and family in need, but you don't have to hold space for everyone all of the time, okay? You need to be able to hold space for yourself as well, and you need to put those energetic boundaries in line so that you do not get sucked dry, right? You can also do some energetic clearing practices. So sometimes it's like just shaking your body, shaking it all out, taking a salt bath, or doing a breathwork reset to release other people's energy. And one of the breathwork practices I really love to do if I'm feeling really depleted from other people's energy is alternate nostril breathing, because it works both on the feminine and the masculine energies of the body, and it realigns all of the energetic pathways, the nadis, or if you're more aligned with TCM, the meridians. So this is a really beautiful practice you can do to realign your energy with yourself and to remove the energy that you have absorbed that is not yours to hold on to. Another tactic is to create a mental shield. So before entering a draining situation, visualize a beautiful protective light around you, keeping external energy out of your field. So it could look like closing down your eyes, just taking a big deep breath in, a long slow breath out, and then this beautiful light just starts to cradle your body, but it's really soft and it's flowy, but it's your protection. And it could look like a beautiful gold light, a pearl light, an indigo light. I often say mine's like a rose gold light, but whatever works for you. Okay, and now I want to talk about the third biggest, or one of the three. It's not necessarily in this order, but one of the three biggest energy leaks is ignoring your nervous system needs. Your nervous system controls everything from how you process stress to how much energy you have. So if you're constantly in fight or flight, your body burns through energy reserves at a rapid pace. This is why people crash after stressful weeks. They've been running on stress hormones instead of true energy, like true vitality. So how can we stop this type of energy leak? First of all, we need to listen to our body's rhythms. Push when you have energy. Yeah, get things done. Go for it. Rest when you don't. And I'm so glad I did that today. I listened to my body and what it needed in that moment instead of just constantly pushing through. Regulate your nervous system with breath work, movement, and slow living. I must admit, this has been a very hard practice for me, slow living. I'm more of a go-getter type of person. So slowing down all of the activities that I do in my life has been challenging, but oh my gosh, it has been so rewarding. And it's given me the ability to even better understand my body and how I'm feeling because I'm actually giving myself the time to tap in and to ask myself and to do something about it. You know, by slowing down, I've created more time in my day so I can take some little breaks when I need them. This is so important. And what I did today, when I slowed down, intentionally took my morning really slow. I even said to my husband, I have changed up my morning. I'm intentionally taking the morning really, really slow to try to kick this sort of fatigue that I'm having and this headache. And he was like, so proud of me. He was like, good. I'm so glad you're listening to yourself. He was very, very supportive. Bless him. And I went up to my room and I've got one of those Shakti mats. Have you heard of those? It's like these little spiky mats that you can lay on, and the spikes are applied to the pressure points all over your body, and they help stimulate like acupuncture points, right? And so I laid on my Shakti mat and I just did some breath work. Very, very basic, simple breath work. I first started with a breath in for 4 through the nose and an exhale out the mouth actually for 6. So generally we would do a lot of the breath work in and out the nose, but I did inhale through the nose and then exhale out the mouth because I realized a lot of my energy that was from overstimulation and stress. And I kind of wanted to just shift that stress. And then I went into a really beautiful relaxed breath where it was 6 in, hold my breath at the top of the inhale for 6 and exhale for 8 out, which worked beautifully and just relaxed me. And then I just end up laying there on this Shakti mat that's so spiky and can be so painful, but it was so relaxing because I use my breath just to really, really melt into the moment and re-energize and restore my body with that prana, that life force energy, which 100% made the biggest difference. So now that we have discussed how to stop the energy leaks, let's talk a little bit about how you can refill your cup day to day. One of the fastest ways to reclaim lost energy is through breath work. Now, not that fast hyperventilation breath work. That is going to be an energy suck and an energy leak for some of you, especially if you're vata aggravated. Do not do that if you're feeling depleted. That is the wrong type of breath work to do. But like I said, you can do this 3-minute nervous system reset breath work that I did today. So we would inhale through the nose for 4 seconds. You can hold the breath for 4 seconds if you're comfortable with that, and then exhale out the mouth for 6 to 8 seconds. Once you've done that a few times, then you can just convert to inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the nose with the breath hold at the top. Now just repeat that for 3 minutes and instantly you will start to feel your body more energized because you're literally moving prana, life force energy, into all of the cells. And if you want to look at it at a scientific level, we're working with the gas exchange in the body to nourish all of the tissues. And it also is activating your parasympathetic nervous system, turning off the stress mode and shifting your body into a rest and restore mode. I love doing this breathwork practice before making any big decisions because it really ensures that I'm making those decisions from the right place, not from like this heightened energy, this nervous energy, excited energy. It's just like being made from a really calm, centered space. I love doing this after social situations. And yes, I admit I didn't do it after the last few events that I've had. And so no wonder my nervous system was so wired and I had to work overtime to support it yesterday and today. And you can do this type of breath work anytime you feel emotionally or mentally drained. So, beautiful people, I want you to reflect on this. Where are your energy leaks? Where are you giving too much of yourself without replenishing? This week, I would love for you to take one step to reclaim your energy. So whether that is setting more boundaries, clearing mental clutter, or trying the breathwork reset, because every small shift will bring you closer to vitality and balance. And if you would love to dive deeper into breathwork and learn how to use it as a tool for your own healing, or how to use it as a tool to heal your clients, my ISO Vedic Breathwork Practitioner training is now open. We will be running the in-person breathwork on the Gold Coast, the 17th and 18th of May. But when you enroll, you get instant access to the online education portal. So if that is of interest to you, I will leave the link in the show notes, but you're always welcome to message me on Harmony Inspired Ayurveda. That's my Instagram account. And if you've got any questions, you want to learn more about what type of breathwork practices we do in the training, what you can do once you're qualified, all of those things, just reach out on there. Until next time, protect your energy, your body, and keep breathing. See you in the next episode.